thank you for joining me on this week's Fridays at First podcast. My name is Richard Gibbons and I'm a member of the pastoral staff at First Presbyterian Church in downtown Greenville, here in sunny South Carolina. Except this weekend is not going to be sunny. Last weekend, the upstate experienced a significant winter storm and snow is again forecast for this weekend. Many of you have been asking, will the church be open on Sunday? And at the moment, we are, quite simply, uncertain. The current plan, however, is that the 8:30 service is definitely cancelled, along with Sunday life groups and Sunday schools. However, we are planning at this point to hold the 10:45 service and the 11 o'clock service at their normal times. However, if the weather forecast anticipates the weather deteriorating further, we will communicate with you on the church's website and social media platforms, and we will do that on Friday afternoon. Just a heads up, remember, that's Friday, 30th of January in the afternoon. We will let you know. Due to the uncertainty of our arrangements for Sunday, we are also postponing the recognition and celebration of Stan Johnson. Stan recently retired as pastor of visitation in our congregational care department. So Stan's celebrations and Thanksgiving will be Sunday, February 8th. Meanwhile, new members will take place and gather at 6 p.m. tonight, Friday, January 30th, and we look forward to welcoming some 80 participants. We are, however, postponing the Saturday morning part of the weekend, and we have let folks who have registered know what the alternative arrangements are. Looking forward over the next couple of weeks, this is the time of year when we begin to prepare our annual Yellow Bag Weekend, which goes to benefit Miracle Hill. Over the next few weeks, please set aside gently used clothing, shoes and accessories, pick up a yellow bag, return it Sunday, 8th of Feb, and again on Sunday, the 22nd. Your donations make a huge difference to the ongoing ministry of Miracle Hill, who specialise in assisting folks struggling with addiction and homelessness. This coming Sunday, we will be continuing our study series entitled Tough Topics in a Digital Age, and we will be looking at the issue of suicide. Suicide, as you can imagine, is a debilitating and painful experience, and is often described as complicated grief. It is for those reasons that I wanted to look at suicide in the context of a Sunday morning worship service. And I'm delighted today to welcome on your behalf my good friend, Barbara Siebel. Barbara, welcome.
Thank you.
Barbara will be known to a number of you as she has worked here at the church offices for the last 16 plus years, and we've been very grateful to God for her years of service here. Barbara, suicide is a very sensitive subject, and we are immensely grateful to you for being willing to talk with us today. Thank you. And for Barbara, the topic suicide is one that is very close to her own heart. So, Barbara, let me start with a tough question to begin, a tough topic. You and your husband, Doug, had been married for almost 35 years.
Yep.
Then, in July 2024, while you were here in the church offices, you were told that Doug had taken his own life.
Yeah.
Can you remember how you responded to that news?
Well, the words that were used were interesting, and the words used were, Doug has been found in your backyard. And my brain immediately had the question go through, what do you mean by found? But I pushed it away.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't ask that. I immediately went into the process of, why was he home?
Mm-hmm.
I had heard him leave for work that morning.
Mm-hmm.
Was he sick? And so I moved immediately to denial.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately. Called his work, started doing all this while it was Mike and Dawn who had shared the news with me. They'd let me do that.
Yes.
They just let me.
It starts the process.
Right. They didn't correct me. They didn't anything. So clearly denial first, followed by trying to solve it.
Yes. And at what moment did you realise that suicide was involved here?
Well, when my friend Edith was called in, and they asked her to pray at one point because we had been sitting there for 3 hours.
Right.
And we were told to wait for the police to contact us. And I said, can someone pray that the phone will ring? Because they'd said they'd call.
Yeah.
And so Edith got the blessing to pray that Dawn asked her to. And in her prayer, she made the statement, we know Doug is with you, Lord.
Yes.
And that's when it hit me that he was dead.
Yes.
And I realized once, I didn't know how yet.
Right.
But when the coroner arrived at the office,
yes,
and she walked me through that,
yes,
that is when it really became real.
Right. And as you are reeling from this news, trying to take in the information, cognizant that someone has just prayed and given thanks for Doug's life, that feels a little overwhelming.
Yeah, at one point the coroner looked at this point, Dawn, Mark, and Edith were all in the room, and she looked at them, and she says, I know it looks like she's handling this well.
Right.
But under no circumstances should she drive or be alone.
Yes.
And inside I know it was my administrative nature that was taking over to protect me
Indeed.
from falling apart. It wasn't until later that night at my friend's house, because I couldn't stay at my house.
No.
Because the police had broken down the door.
Indeed.
It wasn't safe.
Because at this point, and please forgive me for this, but from the police perspective, they are immediately asking, a man has been found in his backyard. Yeah. Is this suicide? Is this a suspicious death? Well, their job is to establish what actually happened.
Correct. And as what I was told by the coroner was he had called the Malden police, because I live in Malden.
Right.
He called the Malden police and said they needed to send a dispatch, some officers to this address. He gave them our address, because I'm going to kill myself. And then he hung up. Oh, my
goodness.
And the neighbors tell me that there were police officers on the scene within 10 minutes.
Right.
And it was too late.
Right. Barbara, can I ask a somewhat sensitive question that I suspect you have asked yourself multiple times in the days immediately following Doug's passing? Had you any sense that this was coming?
At the time, no.
Right.
It's only, and that's the simple answer, no. The more minimal answer is only in hindsight.
Right, as you look back.
As I look back, there are signs that I now know, but it was hard to tell with Doug.
Right.
Because Doug was a very introverted person.
He was quiet by nature.
Yes, and I respected that. And we both let each other have our time alone, because we both get worn out by people. Right. Him more so than me. But there were just certain facial expressions that now that I reflect back on, I'm like, they didn't match the moment.
Right. Or the Doug you knew.
Right. And it's just, that's part of the hard part.
Yes.
Is because I'm normally someone that picks up on those sorts of cues.
Right.
But 35 years of marriage with an introverted man, I'd learned to give him his space, assuming he would eventually share whatever was bothering him.
Barbara, I think most people who work in crisis counselling with folks and families who have experienced suicide would say when a loved one becomes overly withdrawn, overly quiet, is not themselves. They are not motivated to get on with the day-to-day tasks and are consciously withdrawing. It's always worth asking the question, are you okay? Is there something going on here? Is that fair?
I think it can be. However, in talking with his own brother and sister and the type of personality that he had,
Right.
we know that if I had pushed him,
Right.
he was a master of deflecting.
Ah,
And he probably wouldn't have shared.
right. He would have disguised it anyway.
Yes, he's extremely good at that.
Yep. Yep.
I recall his mom once told me that he could lie to her and she could not tell. And most moms
Right.
can know
Yeah, they
when their
can.
child is lying.
They can.
But
yeah.
he had mastered that.
Right.
So
Which made it extra complicated and difficult.
for me, yes.
Yeah. Now, in the weeks following Doug's passing, how did you manage your grief, and how were you able to continue with daily life?
Well, it wasn't easy. The first 14 days, I was never alone.
Right.
So that was hard, but it was
Yeah.
necessary.
Oh, yeah. Thankful for good, close friends.
Yeah, and family that
Yep.
came in. So once I was alone, some days were better than others.
Yep.
And many were surprised at how quickly I returned to work. But my personality needed that structure.
Right.
And I knew if I didn't have structure, I would have
Yes.
imploded.
Yes. Did you discover that your work colleagues and your work environment was something of a safe harbor during those days?
It was largely because work provided a different office space
Yes.
than my regular one.
Right.
It was kind of tucked away, hidden. People knew I was on campus, but I
Right.
could sneak in the back and
Yes,
sneak
yes,
out.
yes,
come
and
in
no one
late
was
night.
drawing attention to you.
Right.
Right.
But it was amazing who all found me.
Yes, indeed.
But it was very sweet. People very very conscientious and kind.
Right, right. Giving you enough space at times, and
Yes.
other times assuring you of their love and their prayers and concerns.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let me probe a little deeper, if I may. In the midst of all of the heartache, sadness, overwhelming grief, what role did your faith play in navigating those uncharted waters?
I believe it's essential.
Right.
I cannot fathom how anyone could go through.
Yes. Yes. That
Simply-
level of pain.
No, without the Lord.
Right. Right.
I have a daily habit, a yearly habit of reading through the Bible in a year.
Yes.
And I clung to that.
Right. In those moments of holding fast to the love of Christ, were there moments when, to be very practical, prayer just didn't feel real, authentic, because your grief was overwhelming? And did you simply, knowing you're little, with your own stubbornness, work your way through it?
Don't reveal that to everybody. Goodness gracious. No, I think having been through some other traumatic stuff younger in my childhood and getting help for those things, I had some tools
Right.
that other people may not have had
Yes.
if this had been their first traumatic experience. So for me, when I think back to the initial 2 nights, rather than the following ones, there was just a lot of this why.
Right.
Why?
Yes.
That's where it stayed.
Yes.
But then as I progressed, it became, now what?
Right. Okay.
Now
What's the
what?
next step
What,
here?
what is the purpose of this, Lord? How are you wanting me to walk through this?
Yes.
And, it took a while. I withdrew from social media for
Yes.
about 6 months. I didn't write my blog for 6 months.
Right.
I just couldn't.
Right.
I did very little social
Yes.
interaction.
Yes.
And during that time, that was needed for me,
Right.
my personality,
Right.
to be alone with the Lord.
Yep.
And just immerse myself in His care.
Yes. Were there moments when He felt particularly close to you during those days?
I didn't feel he was absent. I would say that.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I don't. There are other times in my life where I have felt a very distinct presence.
Yes.
I was reading through Jeremiah and Lamentations and Ezekiel around this time, and the word that kept popping out was sovereign.
Right.
The Lord is sovereign. So that is how he was appearing to me, communicating to me that he was in charge of this. He had me. He had me
Yes.
in his care.
Yes. Holding you in the palm of his hand and was walking with you through the pain.
Yeah.
Final question for you, if I may. For those who have gone through a similar experience, or those who have experienced suicide in their wider family, what advice would you give to them?
Allow yourself to feel the pain, to find the right people
Yes.
to talk about it with, because not everybody's a safe person.
No.
Some people are voyeurs
Right.
when something like this takes place, and
Indeed.
other people genuinely care
Yes. Yes.
and will still be there a year and a half later.
Indeed. After the event and all of the attention.
Yeah. And I say run to Scripture.
Right.
If that's not your go-to, start in the Psalms.
Right.
And find the ones that speak to your pain.
Yes. And immediately Psalm 23 at least comes to my mind. The Lord is my shepherd. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me.
Yeah. Well, and the thing, I'm wearing it today. I don't wear it every day anymore, but I have Doug's ring on a necklace. It's too big to fit my fingers. But he was wearing this, and it's has the inscription of "Be strong and courageous."
Yes.
From Joshua, and be strong and courageous because the Lord is with you.
Barbara, we're immensely grateful to you for opening up at this level, being vulnerable and open to us, and please be assured of our love and our prayers for all the months and years ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Barbara, we are immensely grateful to you for your courage and openness in discussing this very tender subject. Thank you. Because suicide is such a painful subject, our congregational care team will have set up a support area for congregants this coming Sunday in room B202. And you may not know where that is. It's the small conference room adjacent to the bookstore. And if you drop by on Sunday morning, you can pick up printed copies of available resources which are there and deliberately designed to help families who experience suicide. As we continue through this weekend, our final focus is on Sunday. And of course, I mentioned at the beginning of our podcast that our services will be 10:45 and 11. So please give a warm 10:45 welcome to the Summer family, as Daniel Thomas Summer is joined by Dad Adam and Mom Ryan and sibling Finlay for Daniel's baptism. At the 11 a.m. service, Jack Michael Jones is joined by Dad Aubrey and Mom Molly for Jack's baptism. Incidentally, Jack's great-grandfather, Bob Jones, who served on the pastoral staff here for a number of years, will be officiating at that baptism. Please say hi to Bob and his entire family. Last Monday, after such a cold weekend, I chatted with my elderly neighbour and asked if she was okay. She had workmen in her house, and I was concerned that she had damaged water pipes. She let me know, however, that they were installing a chairlift. When I asked if it was helping her navigate the stairs, she responded that it has been a frustrating experience learning how to use the controls. She then added, with a huge smile, "The thing is driving me up the wall." I have the best neighbours. Meanwhile, I trust you're able to stay safe and warm over the weekend, and I look forward to welcoming you next Friday for our podcast.